Hello everyone, welcome to the 13th video lecture series of Terraform series. So this is the second part of the Terraform module series. So I would recommend you, if you haven't watched my previous video, part 1 of this video, please go through that so that you will have a better understanding, because then only it will help you to understand the labs which we are going to perform. So let me give you, before starting, let me give you a quick walkthrough of what are the things we have achieved till now. So these are the list of things I have mentioned. So you can see we have finished this root and child modules. Along with that, we have seen output values from modules, like how we were passing output of one module from other module. That is all are very important things, and along with that we have seen how to use this only, like one input to other module, how we were passing. So we have seen like how we can use a source and version, and we have seen the folder architecture, right? That is the most demanding thing in Terraform. So these all things we have already achieved in our part 1 of this video series. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of what we have achieved. So you can see these are the 5 modules which we have created, correct? And those all how we are calling here in the module section, correct? So these are the 5 resource module which we are calling here as per our this chart, and you can see these are the resources which we have used in modularization, correct? So these 5 VPC we do have here, correct, that we have already achieved. So in today's session I will tell you how we can make use of tfvar. We will see how we can one module can use multiple provider, right? So we can we will try to use multiple provider, correct, in a module, so that we can create a resource in some other region and second resource in different region. We will see like how we can create multiple resources using for each loop, and the most important thing, we will see how we can use config in our modules. So let's just go ahead and let's just start with tfvar. Okay, so let me just go back to the tf code. So this is my code, and for that what you have to do, you just have to see the variables first. So what you have to do here, you just have to create a tfvar file. So provide a name, like I'm giving a default name like terraform.tfvars. I hope it is getting created. Okay, so once this is done, okay, let me separate this. So these are my variables, right? So let's just go ahead and let's just start with writing this tfvar file. Correct. So you just have to provide the name, okay, along with that you have to provide the values here, okay? So as it is a type of map, you can see here, so how you have to write like in the key value pair, right? So directly you can pass like this now, okay? In the same way you will pass the subnet CIDR, so you will take the variable name, and here you will provide the value of the variable, correct? So let me take the default value itself, okay? And here you have the subnet name. Again, what you will do, subnet name equals to, what is the name of the subnet? Again, it is a type of map, right? So it will be in the form of this key value pair, correct? So okay, so subnet part is done. Now coming back to our security group. So this is the name of our security group, and that is a type of map, right? So how you will write this? Under the flower brackets you will pass the name. So this is the name of your subnet, okay? So like this you have to write all the values, right? So let me just go ahead and let me write all the variables here, okay, and let me pass the values. So and come back to you. So like this, I'm ready with my terraform.tfvar file. Here you can see, so this is the structure. So right, so now you no need of watching this variables folder variable.tf file now, correct? So you will just directly pass here values as per your need. Like for the production you will have different value, for the testing, for the development you will have different values. So you will just pass values from here, correct? The main workaround of modules in Terraform is this only, right? So you are not going to touch this backend things, right? From the front end only you are simply writing all the variables whatever you need, and you are just re-executing the code again and again, right? So this was all about your tfvar file writing, correct? So see, one more important thing, if you are not passing values from here, correct, so what will happen, it will directly take all values from the default, right? Fine. If you are not passing value from the tfvar file, it the value will be directly taken from the this default variable, which is this, correct? So we have all the default values, right? So you can delete this as well, no problem, but make sure you are passing those values here. If you will not pass here, then here it will ask you, okay, and here it will ask you, but see, you have declared default in both side, right? In the front end itself variable.tf, in this modules itself, right, variable. So if you are not passing here, it will be taken from any of the modules, right? So this was all about tfvar file. Now let's just go ahead and just see our next scenario. One module can use multiple providers, so how we can achieve that? So if you will see here, I have this provider.tf, correct? So what I want, you cannot use for each loop, right? So for each loop, so that you will use multiple reason, right? If you want to create a resource in multiple reason, then what you will do, right? Simply it will come in our mind like, we will run a loop, list of a string, we will pass multiple reason and we will try to run. So yes, but you cannot do that, because the for each loop in provider section has been reserved for letter purpose. So right now we do not have any idea, means we do not have any concept like so that we can do. So what we can do, we have a uh, alias concept in Terraform. So how to do that? So you will write simply this provider, correct? So and here you have to type alias, okay, and alias name you have to provide any unique name, right? So what we want to do in this lab, we want to create instance in two regions in the same code itself, correct? You are creating two instance in different reason in the same code. So let me rename it as ist2, okay, ist1, okay. So this is for ist2, this is the reason only, correct? And once this is done, I have defined this profile, right? If you don't know how to make this hiding credential, please watch my previous video. And here I will define the reason along with that. Perfect. So ist1 also. So fine. So now this, you have to remember this name, right? ist1. So now what you will do, you will go to your main.tf, okay, and our scenarios what we have to create two instances, multiple instances in different region, correct? So make sure you are giving a two different name as well. So I am giving it ist1, fine. And here the previous one which we are creating, that is for ist us2, fine. Okay, so leave it. Okay, so make sure we are making changes here, right? So here what you have to do, you have to call the provider. Once you will hit enter, it will ask you for the name. So how you will mention the provider, like simply aws, correct? Inside provider you have to write aws equals to aws dot aws, which means what? If you will see this provider, if you will see this provider, this is the provider dot the alias name you have to provide here, aws dot ist1. So just copy this and provide here. So once you gave this, so see, this is fine. Now let's just try to do terraform init so that we can see if any issues are there. So init, okay, so now we can do plan, right? And plan should give me a blueprint of at least two instances, EC2 instances in different region. Okay, so we got this. Let's just go to our EC2 instance section, AWS instance. So this is the first one in which we can check the region, like so let's just see. You can see by the name itself, like module.instance ist1, correct? And this is module.instance AWS instance, this the simple one, right? Module.instance and module.instance ist1, so both are getting created. So like this you can create a multiple resources using a different provider, correct? So one modules can use multiple provider. So this is done, right? Now let's do one thing. Let's just see config folder first, okay? And how to make config folder and how to run the code, that we will see next. We will go for creating multiple resources and how we will use for each loops to create multiple resource, okay? So let's just go back to our code. Okay, so how to do that? So you have to do what? See, you just have to create a config here. Config, simply this is a normal folder, right? And inside the config folder, what you have to do, you have to keep your tfvar file. So just drag this and just go to the config folder and just move it. So once you will move, you can see these are the configuration. So now in real-time project, this is the method you have to follow, right? See, you have a folder for modules here, you have a folder for config here, correct? And config will contain all the file like terraform.tfvar file. So you can change the naming convention like dev.tfvar file based on your environment you are going to deploy. You can change the name dev.tfvar file, test.tfvar file, prod.tfvar file, correct? So that you have to maintain. And how you will use the particular tfvar file while running the code, right? That question maybe came to your mind. So for that, what you have to do, like, see, first let's do init again, because we have changed with we have changed the folder structure now. So let's do terraform init once again. So once init is done, now you will try to do terraform plan, correct? So once you will hit enter, you will get error here. See, you will not get any error because see, you have a default files, right? You have a default variables here, correct? So but our question is, my question is like, how I can pass this terraform.tfvar file, correct, while running this code? So let's just do one thing, because all the values in variables.tf and this terraform.tf all are almost same, right? So let's just go ahead and change some values, okay? So for vpc, I'm giving dev. So let's just start with this only, okay? So that we will see. Just wait for a second, I will just change it. Fine. So see, now I will do terraform plan. It will take by default value because you are not passing this tfvar file. So let's see the output. Okay, so once this is done, you can see it is still taking my VPC, because in the variables we have given the same name, right, my VPC. But what our task is, we have to pass this terraform.tfvar file, correct? So for that, all the naming convention is starting with a dev extension. So how you will pass this? So you have to type terraform plan hyphen hyphen var hyphen file equals to, and in double quotes you have to provide the name of the config. So see, config is in current directory, right, where the main file is. Fine. So you will write simply config slash, what is the name of terraform.tf file? Same. Fine. So this is the name, right? And if you have different, then you will do what? Instead of terraform.tfvar, you will have dev.tfvar, you will have prod.tfvar. So this is very important. That's why I am trying to convince you again and again, right? So make sure that this is very important. So let's just hit enter. Now this terraform plan should pick values from this config slash terraform.tfvar file. So now every name should start with dev VPC, not like my VPC default name. So let's just wait and let's just see the output. Okay, so you can see, right, now it is starting with a dev VPC, dev subnet, all will be same only, right? Say dev server. Fine. So like this you can make use of config folder. So yeah, this is for config folder. Now this is done. Now we will go for creating multiple resources using for each loop. Okay, so for that, let me do some changes in the code. So I'm going to the main, and now I'm going to create using for each. So this concept you understood, right? This was a other concept. Now I am going to change. So this is not at all required. Fine. So now our task is to simple think like, now I am going to create multiple resources in the same reason. Then in that case, what you will do? So if you know, like in the previous session I have told you like how you can use map of object, then it is going to be very useful and helpful for you. If you don't know, then I will recommend you, please go and watch my that series. That is only 10 minutes of video, and that will help you to make your concept very strong on this, because that time only I have told like that is a very vast and important concept in Terraform. So fine. So now I am going to this config file here. Okay, and now I am going to write a map of object. Okay, so for this project, first you have to understand the scenario. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we are just going to create multiple EC2 instances in the single region. So as you know from the first project, if you have watched, like we were creating one nick card and we were attaching it to the instance. Fine. So but if you are going to create multiple instance, then you have to create a nick interface also simultaneously. Fine. So there will be two nick, also there will be a two this instance also. Fine. And security group is fine, and subnet is also VPC subnet, and security group will be same. Mainly we are focusing on this. So this is these all things are not at all required, because we are attaching this security group as per this VPC level only, so not at all required. So see, main focus is this only. So we are going to create multiple nick, multiple instance, and each nick will be get attached to the EC2 instance. Okay, so what are the steps going forward you have to take? So make sure you are concentrating here. Okay, otherwise you will not understand. This is a very advanced concept. So now what I will do, I will just create a map of any variable. Okay, so I will declare a variable here first, variable, and I will name it as instance config. Fine. And what is the type of variable, if you will ask? It is a type of map of any here. Fine. And okay, so I will not define any default value here. Let's copy this variable. Okay, now you have to go to the tfvar here, and here you have to paste, and let's just start writing the map here. Okay, okay, so this is the instance config. Okay, and here we are going to create two this EC2 instance, right? So let me name it as instance 1. Okay, and here also there will be curly braces and map. Fine, hope you are getting this. This is my variables, and this is the map we am going to pass. Multiple map I will pass for the instance. Okay, in the same way, see, you will have a is instance 1 is there, right? In the same way you will have this instance 2. Fine, and here you will pass all the details of EC2 instance 1. So let's just go ahead and type all the values. So for instance 1, what I need, we need, right, two nick interface, as I have told you. Correct. So this is the nickname. You can take it out from here, not at all required there. Okay, let me arrange this. So make sure you are okay. So this is the first nick. Okay, nick dev nick 1. Fine. And what are the other things required? That is private IPs. Correct, private IPs for the instance. So okay, after nick anywhere you can write, not an issue. Private IPs I am giving this same. Along with that, what you have to provide here? Instance name. Just cut it from here and paste it there. Okay, I will arrange this. Okay, once after done, instance AMI. Okay, copy here and pass here. Fine. And now what is the remaining? That is instance type. Fine, cut it as well. And okay, so let me arrange this and come back to you, right? Okay, let me stop. So this was for first, right? I have arranged, you can see it is a type of map, so I have written like key and value. Fine, once this is done, you will have this all values for second instance as well. So just copy paste here, and here you must don't forget to change the name as well. So here I'm giving this IP as 101. Okay, and then this DNS server, dev server, right? Dev server, this is 1, and this is going to dev server 2. Okay, and AMI, let it be. Okay, so these are the details we have. And okay, so hope it is clear to you now. Okay, and this is fine. Now second thing is, okay, you have declared all the values here. Now a main thing is how you will pass these all values. Correct. So for that, what you have to do, you just have to take this name here. Okay, and go to your, if you do know how to use for each loop, then it is going to be very easy for you. If you don't know, then you have to watch my previous video for that, then only you come back here. Otherwise, okay, let me make you clear. Like, see, for each equals to var dot call that value. Fine, and same way you will call the value here as well, instance, right? Because we are creating two EC2 instance, so this variable only containing nickname also. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so I'm here, right? Okay, hope it is clearly visible to you. I have done what I have ran a for each loop here and here, because I have two nickname. This variable, see, var dot this is containing nickname also, and the variables and the values of EC2 instance as well. So I'm running this loop only. So now I will get, right, I can get a nickname from here. So how I will get this? So for that, let me pass the value each dot value dot, you have to provide the name of this. Fine. So in the same way I will pass this also. So for that you need to know the concept of this for each, right? Then it will be very easy for you. Okay, so here also each dot value dot instance name, each dot value dot instance id. Okay, nick id. So once this is done, and one more thing you can see here, right, uh, private IP is fine, subnet ID is fine. Okay, subnet ID is fine, both nick will get IPs from this subnet only. And but if you will come here, so here you can see nick ID means 2 time it should return, right, the nick one. If you will go to the nick, so after passing the nick name, right, nickname, it is creating and it is throwing the nick ID, so that we will pass catch twice, right? So what you have to do here, after module dot nick, right, what you have to do, you have to use each dot key here. So what it will do, it will take the zeroth this EC2 instance will take the zeroth ID of the nick first. Then after creating first, then it will go for the second nick, because we are passing two only nick, right? So let's plan this and let's see if we have any issue here. Okay, so first init, then how we will do plan, and you will pass the terraform.tfvar file, right? Let's see if any issues are there, we will try to resolve it. Okay, so it ran perfectly fine. So see, instance 2 is getting created. Okay, module.nick is for instance 2, and one more will be there, this is for instance 1. Okay, so yeah, so this is fine, right, for each loop and config creating multiple resources. So like this we can just copy paste this line again and again. Okay, and like this you are going to create multiple resources at a time, right? So let me show you. Let's apply it and see, is it going perfect or not, correct? So let's approve this. So it started creating the VPC here. Two NIC interfaces are getting created. Instances started getting created. Okay, so 7 resources has been added. 4 means 2 nick 2 EC2 instance and 3 our earlier resources, right? So let's just go ahead and let's see in the portal once. Okay, so you can see dev server 1 and dev server 2 are in running condition, correct? And along with that it will have a different nick as well, right? So that nick only provide it the IP. So this is 101 for dev server 1, and for the dev server 2 it should be 101 that we have passed. So yeah, so that is fine. One more thing I would like to before close out of this, I would like to tell you, like see, you must use this depends on. Okay, sometime your this resource creation will get failed because you know, right, all are dependent on some other, like this subnet is dependent on this VPC, right? If this will fail, right, then it will also fail, correct? So you have to apply dependency, correct? So you know, right, for this nick this instance is waiting. Once this nick will be created, then only this instance will get created, and then this nick will be assigned to it, right? So for that you have to use depends on, correct? So how to use that? So you can see it is giving you, right? So like this you will do, and you will just provide the this nick sorry, the nick module name. So module, okay. So this will do what? It will wait until this is returning the value. It will wait, right? Let's just plan once and let me see. Okay, so no changes are required, but I wanted to show you this important concept, right? So yeah, like this you can use depends on, right? So this is a very important thing as well, like I have told you, like some other it is dependent on nick, right? So once the nick will be get created, this EC2 instance will get created, and the nick should be attached to this EC2 instance. So this interface should wait until this is nick module nick will run, right? So that's why we use depends on. Okay, so okay, so this was the second session closer of this. So I would recommend you to watch this first part as well before starting this, and the last also. And if you really liked my videos, do like and consider subscribing and share with your friends. So that will motivate me to do such things for you. And if you have any difficulties, write your doubts in the comments so that I can act upon it. Okay. So okay. So thanks for watching. Let's see you in the next part of this advanced Terraform series. Bye.